Nehoray Levy's life changed forever 1 year ago. That was the day he was dancing at the Nova Festival, music festival, in Kibbutz Rim in southern Israel. The world stopped, and then went all but dark. Gunfire was all he could hear, then the screams and cries of panic. Scores of Hamas militants rode up on motorcycles, ATVs, and on foot, he says. Levy ran in the hopes of getting away. He had served in the IDF, and he was even an instructor, but that was no match for the number of Hamas soldiers on the ground. He even recorded this video in case he did not survive. Let's watch.
המחבלים ממש מתקרבים. סיטואציה ממש הזויה, אבל אמא, אבא, אני אוהב אתכם ועל כל מה שעשיתם בשבילי. תודה לחיים, אני אוהב אתכם. תהיו שמחים, תהיו מאושרים, תהיו מאוחדים. אני מקווה שאנחנו נצא מהיום הזה בסדר. המחבלים מתקרבים לפה ויורים עלינו, ואם לא, תדעו שאני אוהב אתכם, את משי, את דור, את כולם. אני אוהב אתכם ותודה לכם על כל השנים שהייתם איתי. וזהו, מקווה שהסרטון הזה לחינם, אבל אם לא, אני אוהב אתכם.
Now, 1 year later to the day, when the war broke out between Hamas and Israel, we are speaking to one person to listen to what he endured and survived, and what he thinks about the future, his country's, and the world's. Welcome, Nehoray. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're very honored to be able to talk to you today. It's a very difficult day, and just checking in how you're holding up first.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a hard day because we're also trying to navigate our feelings, our emotions, the way of thinking about the future, because we're reliving our trauma today, especially with all the videos and everything that's going on social media, that bringing up everything again, all the videos, all the sensitive and graphic pictures and videos, which we're trying to stay strong.
I know it's very difficult to relive this story over and over, and especially in a day like today, and as this plays out in the world every day in the news. But if you can, could you tell us a little bit about what happened to you that day when you were at the Nova Festival?
On October 7th, we went, dozens of friends, to be together, to reunite after we've been traveling for a long time around the world. I lost 10 of them on October 7th. For me, it was 18 hours of escaping, of fighting my way out, trying to survive. I tried at first to help people, to evacuate people from the area, to help people who were wounded by gunfire. It was a nightmare of us trying to escape, surrounded by hundreds of terrorists without seeing any bright light or any option that will make it out. That's why also at some point I felt that I'm not gonna make it, and I recorded that goodbye video for my family, because I didn't see myself making my way out. We ran for a few hours. At some point, I managed to help survivors to escape. I opened some of the bushes and trees to help them hide themselves. Thank God I managed to help a few people to survive, and it gave me a lot of strength and power to keep fighting. Because we also carrying a lot of guilt, all the survivors, that we were the chosen ones who survived, But at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all the same. We escaped for a few hours until it got to a point we were so dehydrated and so exhausted we couldn't even speak to each other. And I remember we didn't even speak about the things that we're witnessing because it was too intense for our brain, for our mind to even approach that subject, to even try to process what we're looking at. We were numb. We just acted. We just ran. It was a Russian roulette. It wasn't right or wrong decisions. It was like you acting and trying to do your best at those moments and praying for your life. Because all of you see around you is death and devil's eyes all over that trying to hunt more and more people. And the atmosphere, of course, was so different for us. A moment before we were dancing, laughing, celebrating life, youth, young generation came to celebrate, to enjoy, to be connected by peace, love, and trance music. And then you're finding yourself running for your life, hunted by hundreds of terrorists.
In the interview,
Those are feelings that's really hard to process even today.
In the interview you gave to Jewish News, and I, apologize to make you recount any of this because it's so horrifying and graphic, but you recounted seeing people not just murdered around you, but also that you witnessed considerable sexual assault. Is that right?
So, because we were hiding for a lot of hours around the festival area, we could hear a lot of screams, and some of them were of girls. For a long time, what were sounds as sexual abuse, and also a good friend of mine who, thank God, survived. He witnessed everything with his eyes, and therefore I knew that I'm not hallucinating or just dreaming that I heard some voices. It was intense until today. Those voices, they're not like just disappeared. They're with us. All the noises, all the smells, all the things that we saw. It's not leaving you. It's just you're trying to learn how to live with those demons, with those new things that you have in life, and trying to find the best way for you to make them less affected by you. Like, I don't want to be affected by them. I'm trying to build kind of protective boundaries with myself.
Nehoray, it's really shocking to see how long it took for the Israeli forces to come and rescue you. You had mentioned in previous interviews that you had gone into the fields and the forests, as you said, and then you had to go keep running, and then you were taken and you went to another location, and then you had to escape again. Can you tell us at what point you were finally safe and rescued, and how long that took?
So after I helped all the other people to escape and I helped them to heal themselves, all of my friends already took off, and I found myself alone, surrounded by hundreds of terrorists. I recorded that goodbye video, and then I had one moment of clarity that I said, I can't make peace with the idea that I'm going to be dead by the end of the day, and I need to fight for my life right now, literally. So I decided to run. It was 50-50 situation because I knew that there are terrorists all over. I left the spot that I kind of hit myself there. I started to run. They started to shoot heavily towards my direction. Unfortunately, I saw that run, people next to me collapsing, getting shot. Without me, without the ability to help them, I kept running for a few hours until at some point one truck came and the driver came to help more people from the festival. He dropped us off at one of the crossroads between Community Patish and Beis Urim, which also we know that went to brutal massacre. I remember when we got to that crossroad, we started to understand that there's something off and something intense, because we already saw all the abandoned cars, all the bodies. It looked like an apocalypse. And then there were another man, an angel, that came from Community Patish with his vehicle, and he helped us to escape from that spot. Because also some of us already started to walk towards Beis Urim, and we know what happened there. So it was another miracle for us that guy came and kind of forced us to come with him to go to Community Patish. We got to Community Patish. We've been there for 10 minutes in an underground bomb shelter until we felt we were safe. That wasn't the case. I remember I started to throw up so much because I felt sick. My body felt as if finally he can collapse and feel all the feelings that he needs to feel after everything I witnessed on the way. But then 5 minutes after, someone just kept screaming that there is more terrorists that coming towards our direction to the bomb shelter. So again, we needed to take off. We took off. We kept running. At the end, it took me 18 hours to get back home. The day after at 12 a.m. It's hard even to think about all those things even today, because there's a lot of parts that we're trying to not think about because of the intensity and the things that we saw, because it's not something that humans can do. It's just not something that human being can do. It's even the savage animal can't do that thing. I can't think about anything in the world that can make that thing to bodies, to people. Some of my friends, it took 3 weeks to recognize their bodies because of the brutality and the way they were murdered.
After this 18-hour ordeal, was there a moment where you reunited with your family and specifically your parents? And what was that like? Did you show them this video that you had made in the case that you didn't make it out?
So my family saw that video in one of the documentaries that I participated. They were shocked. The sadness. They also been traumatized from that day. They're still trying to kind of back to normal, even with the relationship that they have with me as the youngest in the family. Because they were also in a nightmare. The last call that I have with my parents, and it's when all the terrorists started to walk towards my direction, I told my father that they starting to shoot towards me, and I need to hang up because I can't make any noises. I hung up the phone, and that was the last call for 10 hours until they heard from me again.
In the last year, I can imagine dealing with the trauma has been very intense, but the whole community, I mean, the whole country of Israel, of course, is traumatized by this, as you said, even your parents. What is the community of survivors doing right now to raise awareness, to stay together, and especially in the midst of what has now become a global crisis?
So From what I can see, all the survivors doing different things with all of the advocacy, with um, all the resources to help to get more therapy, to get more like help and more therapists that will help us. And we're trying to speak with each others and like be in touch, because it's really hard for someone that haven't been through that thing to understand you. We opened, unfortunately, like a new frequency that we can speak to each others and really understand the depth of the things behind the emotions and feelings that we're trying to express between each other. So it's really important for us, the survivors, to speak. Um, it's really important for us to speak, to share everything, because it can kill you from the inside also. So you really need to be aware and be connected to your feelings, to your emotions, and like verbally say all the time how I feel, how like I'm seeing some stuff, how I'm like experiencing some stuff around me, in order for in the environment also to understand me, so they'll be able to understand me, my trauma, my triggers, my PTSD, because it's still something that I'm learning. I'm getting to learn my new me these days. And we're trying to fight together, all the survivors, for all our rights, for a better future, for change. And I'm doing it with my girlfriend since October 8th. That I'm going to lobbies, events around the world, delegations, to speak with more and more people, to bring awareness to what happened and also how to deal with PTSD. And also that we all need to believe in humanity. That's it all about.
Yeah.
Just believe in humanity. That's it. We won't have all those problems, all those apocalypses in life and
Yeah. Nehoray Levy, thank
I
you.
truly believe that we'll be able to make that change if we will truly,
Yeah.
with full honest, aim to get all that purpose of believing in humanity. Doesn't matter what your religion, where you're coming from. We're
Thank
all
you.
humans.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this very difficult 1-year anniversary of all this horror. We appreciate it and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
More Rising right after this.